Those who learned that Paul Moxley was chosen as McAllen Chambers Man of the Year were shocked. Not that they didn't believe he deserved the award. Most were simply convinced he won the award years ago.
You know, I was really surprised when I heard that Paul Moxley had been selected Man of the Year, because I thought he'd earned it years ago.
And I was kind of surprised when I called and told him that he'd been selected. I said, Paul, I'm amazed that you hadn't been selected sooner than this.
Very handsome, very smart, very charismatic, and very community-oriented. Yeah, my initial thoughts of Paul.
Met Mr. Moxley a little over 22 years ago, maybe 23. I was fairly new to the bank, a few years in.
First time I met Paul Moxley was in June of 1974. I had moved to McAllen to open up La Posada Hotel, which is now the Renaissance.
He was such an incredible young man, a clean-cut, all-American looking young man, smart.
Paul Moxley is president and CEO of Texas Regional Bank in Harlingen. He was born in Staten Island, New York, but moved to McAllen as soon as he could, at the tender age of 6 months old. Paul earned a Bachelor of Science degree in construction engineering from Trinity University in San Antonio. He played football in college and even played one season with the semi-pro San Antonio Toros after graduation.
Mox is a talent. I mean, he has a lot of raw talent. And I've been around a lot of athletes. I've never met a person who could throw a ball or even a golf club as far as Moxley can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was a very good football player. He played semi-pro football.
To be honest, we rarely heard that he was from anywhere else or he had gone anywhere else. It was always McAllen, 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 helping McAllen grow.
He began a military career in the United States Army in 1968 as a second lieutenant in the Corps of Engineers. In 1969, he served as a military assistant command advisor to the Vietnamese in South Vietnam.
I am also from the Vietnam era, and I think everybody I knew was part of that era, but he did have the stature of a very confident military man.
For his professional career, well, he was in the military. He was in Nam. I think he served 2 tours in Nam. When I was in the reserve, and he had come back from Vietnam, and he was my commanding officer at the Army Reserve here in McAllen.
He served our country with distinction. And one can be very proud in reading his bio.
I think more than anything, the Vietnam experience for him brought more empathy back to the organization and to his team members.
It was during a tumultuous time in his industry that our Man of the Year made a mark in this community as a pillar of strength.
You really kind of get a feel for a person when you have an industry that is changing and you see technology impacting it, and you continue to see technology impacting the banking industry. And I think I think it speaks well to Paul's ability to maneuver and strategically place the banks that he's worked for in really good positions.
He was the kind of leader you wanted to follow, so it seemed just about anything that he wanted to bring forward for the city of McAllen, he had followership. To me, leadership is all about having followership.
He is a leader. He leads through example. He defines the word leadership. To me, it's always been that leadership is not the ability to tell people what to do as a boss, as a president of a bank, but it is the ability to make people want to do the right thing through example. And Paul does that.
One component of his strength is commitment, and Paul has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to his community.
From day one, we felt like if we were going to be part of a community, particularly McAllen, that we need to be active and participate in both charitable, political, and other organizations in the city and around the city.
All the bankers out there are involved in the community and help the community grow. Mox is one of those, but he's one of the big ones. I mean, he's been involved in the McAllen community since way back and involved in a lot of the projects that have made this community grow. Moxley's always been there. He serves on the MEDC board and is still active to this day doing those kind of things.
His involvement and pride in McAllen is very apparent. He's very involved in the community. I've been involved with him all the way from McAllen Rotary, the Boys and Girls Club, the McAllen Chamber.
You know, McAllen, it's a guy who could have been successful anywhere, and he stayed in McAllen and got his success here, but also a great example of giving back to the community.
So his legacy will be one of a great heart, a great dedicated man, and one that really strived to make his community and his city the best it could be.
A pillar of strength, an even-keeled, unflappable man who took pride and stayed active in a community that he has always loved. That is why we honor Paul Moxley as the McAllen Chamber of Commerce Man of the Year.